Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Culz Sports Chat, episode 43. Today we are going to be talking again about the wide world of the NFL, fantasy football, college, and more sports. I'm sure we'll find some more. There's been some renders passing around about Las Vegas's two possible stadiums, so we'll go from there. Brendan, David, how you guys doing today?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Doing very good. I was actually at work today watching our video about the Kennedy assassination because, of course, it's that kind of time of year. And it came to the point with Oswald's grave and Nick Beef. And you know whose sticker was sitting on Nick Beef's grave?
No idea. Whose?
It was Brendan's. Actually, it was
I knew it. I
guys'.
knew it.
Yeah, I put a Villain Enterprise sticker on his grave.
Hey, Nick Beef isn't even a real. Actually, it's a comedian who bought it. It's a long story. At some point, we'll have a whole different live podcast. For the people watching, thank you for joining us. It's Thanksgiving week, so perhaps we should give something we're thankful for in sports or fantasy football. David, is there anything you're thankful for this year?
I'm thankful that Jerry Jones can't live forever.
He's gone full Al Davis. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what he's doing. And now,
worse.
And now there's new stuff coming out like today, this week. He's like, well, maybe McCarthy will get an extension. No.
Well, Dak got hurt and this person got hurt. It's not McCarthy's fault that they suck.
I don't care. That he needs to go.
No, you should definitely keep him and continue sucking so Eagles can continue doing good.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Good advice.
Brendan. Terrible advice. Brendan, switching to you. I mean, there's one thing I think Eagles fans got to be thankful for: the New York Football Giants and just being dysfunctional.
What did I preach last year and
Thank
during
you,
the draft? We need a powerhouse running back like we had when we went to the Super Bowl, and look what we got. That was an amazing performance.
I don't even know what it's like.
2 yards of it.
What is it like to have a running back?
David, you'll get one. I know.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, you're supposed to get the Boise State court running back, supposedly.
We're gonna get something stupid.
Bobby, what's up? We're since it's Thanksgiving week, I should say.
Yeah.
We are giving something we are thankful for in the wide world of sports. So what is something in sports that you are thankful for this year?
Just watching football and with friends and stuff, it's fun.
I like how Bob's is all wholesome and ours is like Jerry Jones is an evil man. Mine kind of along the same lines. I'm glad the Bears learned that Eberflus is terrible at picking offensive coordinators. Man, it's got to say something when Thomas Brown, not his fault with the whole Carolina situation, but the fact he's come in and been heads and shoulders above the Bears, got to say something.
Okay, call it right now, Keegan. Are the Bears going to the playoffs?
No. Now I can tell you that. And you know what? They're going to do just good enough. They're going to do the most Bears thing of all time and keep Eberflus next year. Like, I feel it. It's coming.
I could see it. They'd be like, give him another year just to see.
Yeah, he only ruined Justin Fields, and now he tried to ruin Caleb too. So, no, it's been amazing to see the turnaround in the offense, just kind of looking competent at all. Me and Matt and Sam went out on Friday, and we were all dressed up in our football gear, and people kept asking us because we're in different teams, obviously. And I was like, hey, if they show up and look competent, I'm happy. And the fact they went into overtime and could have won it blows my mind. because Vikings have been really good. So hats off to Minnesota this year. Let's see. Let's get to fantasy. Oh, no, I don't want to edit a video. Adobe close. Adobe's like, do you want to edit? And I'm like, no. Really don't tonight.
I guess you guys saw that Bronco picture up in Golden, huh? At the antique store. Man, show me that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went to that one up in Golden and found myself a Tyreek Hill jersey
Yep.
for $30.
Got a Bronco one there too.
They had a lot. They had what?
I
found
told
it.
man, I got room for that picture too. If he bought it for me, I get it and pay him for it because I have room for it.
Yeah, they got lots of good sports stuff, autographs. They got autographed baseballs, helmets,
Yep.
cards, jersey cards, signed cards. Travis Hunter was going for a lot of money. Shedeur you could get for like $14. So,
Right.
which was more than any rookie quarterback was going for, which was pretty crazy. Bo Nix was like $5. Yeah, that episode I'm sure will be coming out at some point. Us being crazy in an antique shop because antique shops are fun. Brendan, have you been to any lately? I know there used to be that one by you and Colby that we went to.
We went into one, but they were also in the midst of like remodeling and reorganizing, so stuff was not all out that they had.
David, what about you? Been into any good antique stores lately?
Not lately. I definitely like to stop in, especially if I'm out of town somewhere and there's a really interesting looking one. It's cool to go in and see them. Nothing really in the past few months though. It's haven't really had a chance.
Yeah, one of those kind of in a blue moon. I think it's been maybe since the beginning of the year, but since I've been in any, and it was a different two. Because Colorado has like 3 pretty good size ones that you could probably spend all day in. They have like little cafes and stuff in them, so it's kind of fun. All right, fantasy football this week. Ooh, it was a tough one. On the edge of my seat until the Chargers got that first down, and I was like, that's it. There's no way he's going to throw 5 incompletions. So I texted my dad, congratulated him on the win, and then I told him I might have a new quarterback next time we play. So it's been on my mind lately.
Hey, who knows? Maybe he'll get kicked out by somebody else before you even have to go against him.
I was looking at the playoff picture, and it's quite interesting, David. We play each other this week, but in 2 weeks, if it all were to stay the same, we'd play each other again.
Nice. What would it be for? Is that the last round or?
No, that's for
that's-
first round of playoffs.
that's-
Well,
yeah,
first
Oh,
round
that's
playoffs.
right, because we have the bye week, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm pretty much out.
Bobby, you are not out. Did you see the thumbnail? You were on the thumbnail. Bo Nix is there.
If anything, this week means something to you more than all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, Brendan, and David are in, and at this point, me and Brendan can't get number 1. So I'm pretty sure we can't get number 1.
We're just here.
Yeah, we're just here
Pretty
because
sure I'm the lowest I can go because Grayson's 5, and I've beat Grayson twice already. So
yeah, Grayson and David are both set as well. I think maybe Scott and Mark have a little playroom, like they could flip flop each other.
Right.
Because right now I think they're well, they play each other too this week.
Yeah.
Right? Oh no, they played each other last week and he beat Mark.
yeah,
Mark
because
plays
Saquon went off.
Yeah.
60 points in our league.
Oh man, yeah. Well, whew. If you guys had Barkley this week, you guys killed it. I don't think I've seen a running back do that since Doug Martin. When he
That's
got
like
63
all you
points.
needed. Your rest of the team could have been bench warmers, and you would have been still sitting pretty good.
Yeah. He
I
beat,
mean, Barkley alone could have beat one entire team in our league, David.
You know what? You know how funny it would have been if Ty would have been the one that had him?
And he just went off.
last year I played Ty 1 week and I beat him with Justin Jefferson by himself.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did Ty even make it to the draft this year?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. Okay.
He was having issues, and then that's off camera stuff, but he was there for a little bit.
He tried. He tried.
He tried, but he could have had Alvin Kamara. That's all he needs is a running back. Like he could have done something. But yeah, Birmingham Bats probably going to finish as number one. It was close. I gave a valiant effort, but hey, it's better than my teams usually look against my dad. My dad can have the worst possible team, and then my team just like forgot they have to play, and he will kill me. So I was pretty happy it was close as well. So yeah, he's moved into first place pretty much by himself at this point. Thundercats, Outlaws, you guys, kind of a tough loss, especially given their quarterback was Will Levis, who had a game. He had a game, so at least you can say Will Levis's best game is the reason he lost. But yeah, it pretty much boosted him and helped secure him that division. So Matt, again, a lot of us really nothing to play for. This week, Cryptid Critters Bulldogs was the one that was kind of going to shake up a little bit of the playoffs, David. Luckily for you two, not your best players playing, so at least you can look at it with some positive side there.
Yeah, I just had too many guys sitting out.
Yeah.
Did you lose someone to injury this week?
Dobbins got hurt last night.
And it was weird because like they showed the play live. It didn't even look like an injury.
I know. I've watched it a couple times. I don't see where he got hurt, but apparently they're not even sure he's going to play this next week.
Yeah, he what was it? He walked off like 20 minutes later, and then I was like,
and he was fine. Like he walked off on his own too.
Yeah, and he was like running around, and they're like, "No, don't play. It's fine."
So I got a feeling it's probably just like a strain or something. So he'll probably be out for maybe a week or two, and then probably be back in. If I had to guess.
Yeah, which is perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. At this point, I just want everybody healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 weeks after. Well, this week, next week, before it really anything counts. So, yeah, it works out for you in that. It was a kind of a fun game last night until the end. Kind of started getting away from it, but I think this slate of football games is much better. Thursday night when we get to it was fun. It's a fun game to watch. Let's see. Dark Horse lost to Desert Dog, so they're just still on. Brendan, you guys broke him. I mean, this is
him and Mark this week.
I don't know. Him and Mark have been on losing streaks since starting 5-0, so it's been kind of crazy. I don't think I've seen anything like that.
Go from 5 to 6-6.
Yeah.
So out of the 4 teams that we have going for that last spot, do any of them, is it like win and in? Or do they need other stuff to happen?
So right now, BP Bears is above South Park Cows. They are both 4-8. So I believe if BP Bears wins, they're in. Now, if they lose and South Park Cows win, I think South Park Cows is in. Now, if they both lose, that's when it opens up for Yorkville, so Bobby or Blazing Red to sneak into that 10th spot.
And Bob plays BP Bears.
I know Bobby can.
California
he controls
Hitters
his
plays South Park.
Yeah. So Bobby, this week, you call up Mark and you tell him do whatever you got to do. Bury Shane. That's all you got to tell him. And then Shane, vice versa. You call up Brian and you say bury Bobby.
Yeah, I just got to say, as far as
to win, and then
Park,
Shane wins, and then Shane gets the spot.
Yeah, as far as Shane goes, I think he only won this week because of the trade I did with him for Darnold, because Addison got him 35 points this week.
Yeah, hashtag where was Jefferson?
Right? But that's one of the guys that I traded him to get the quarterback, and it already paid off for it.
Hey, at least you, unlike the Cleveland Browns, have moved on from Deshaun Watson. So
Yeah, no, well, he had said specifically a couple weeks ago he was looking more for people to like build up, and I was like, well, if Deshaun comes back, like I don't like him, but he's got a lot of talent. He's got, they'll probably if they trade him or keep him, he'll probably have a decent year, maybe next season or so. So it seemed like a good trade, and then threw him a lower tier running back, decent receiver, and I think he got a very good deal for Sam Darnold.
Yeah. No, I mean, it worked out for, I think, both sides. You get a quarterback that can help you this year since the injury to Dak. And at the same time, like you said, Deshaun can do stuff. He's going to be starting next year. I mean, they've already come out and said it. They owe way too much money.
Oh, yeah, he has to play.
For him not to play. 2 years from now is when we can start kind of thinking about that. Because I think if they cut him next year, it's over $100 million they would owe him.
Yeah, if Dak wouldn't have gotten hurt, I probably wouldn't have done it because I could have kept Deshaun next year as my backup. Yeah. And it would have been fine. Like, he's solid, especially now that Gardner's finished.
Yeah, did you pick up their backup?
No.
Their third string, I should say, because it's like,
to who?
I'm hoping Darnold stays as a starter at least next year. So then I've got my backup with him and Dak together. It should be cover me for the season. Maybe pick up a new guy, rookie in the draft, depending on where I'm at. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'll say kind of on the Darnold side, given that JJ just had his second knee surgery like last week, I could see them bringing Sam Darnold back now.
It might be, I think. I mean, it depends on how things shake out with the injury. How is he getting back on the field and everything? I think they'll at least keep him on for possibly, either backup or starting next year. And then we'll probably find out as we get closer to the season who they're going to play.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it could work out for you.
I think he's at least solid for the rest of the season, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. He's given up like 20, 30 points, so you should be good there. At least not worrying about a quarterback, because going in the playoffs, you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting him to bring me home any 40-point games or anything, but he's good for a solid 25, 30 points per game, I think.
Hey, if Will Levis can do it, we all have hope.
Hey, if Cooper Rush can do it.
Oh man, Cooper Rush. We'll get to that game. That was something. Let's see. South Park Cows did what they needed to do. They beat Bobby, and that kept their playoff dreams alive. Hurt Bobby, but Bobby's still alive, so no worries there, Bob. And then
Shane was ready to throw in the towels. So
yeah, and then he realized it was 10, and I'm like, well, it was 10 last year. We expanded. It just makes it fun because sometimes those lower tier teams late in the season, they get really hot, and I feel kind of bad that some of them didn't make it, so we wanted to make it more competitive, and I think it's fun.
I think Ty's going to take it all.
He's eliminated. He's the only team eliminated, so
I'll give him my spot. Let him in. Bring
transfer the victory. I don't think I can do that.
We should give Dark Horse a spot to Ty.
You're just saying that because you play Dark Horse.
I'm okay with.
And then last one this week, Blazing Red beat California Sun Hitters by 5. Pretty close one there, and I don't think a lot of the projections saw it going that way. So not 100% sure what's going on with Mark's team because he has a talent, just they're just not showing up. All right.
That's always the worst when you have a stacked team with great guys, great things going on, and then they just don't show up for you.
Yeah, I'll say this year for me, I'm super happy because I used to have the problem where I had too many good players, and then it was always like, who am I starting? Then I would overthink it. This year, it's pretty much like who I'm starting is who I'm going to start. Maybe a couple changes here and there, and it makes it so much easier because I'm like, I got to do it that way,
I mean, I know your quarterback situation. You kind of been going back and forth.
I know it's just because Lamar is good, but the Ravens don't need him to be Lamar anymore because they're solid.
They have a team.
Yeah, and Caleb has come alive.
So you think Caleb's up for Rookie of the Year?
I mean, he's doing better than Jaden. The Jaden talk needs to stop, and I like Jaden. I ranked him number 2. Bo Nix is playing better than Jaden Daniels.
I was gonna say Bo Nix has put his name. How he's been playing in the last few weeks and going forward, he's definitely settled into that system, and I think he's probably the front runner.
He's at least top 2 or 3 by far.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other rookies that have had the impact because, like, man, Bo Nix has turned around, and I got a lot of flack for ranking him number 3 in our ranking system last year. And now I'm just like, I hope people like look back at that and be like, oh, Keegan kind of knew what he was talking about. Like, I just felt like
third.
What?
I think he would have been my third.
Yeah, but there's so many people that love Drake May and then Michael Penix, and a lot of people had him 6, and I was like, nah, put him 3. I couldn't put him above Jaden, who I said Jaden would probably have the best rookie year, just because he'd probably go to a little bit more functional of a team.
Which he did.
Which he did. But I said Caleb in the long run would probably have – he has the most talent. Now, will the coaching break him? TBD. TBD. I hope not to.
Yeah, that's one of those things that when a rookie starts doing well, you never know if they're going to flame out or keep doing well, you know? Are they going to have that good first year and then –
Well, it's like Bryce Young. He's looked much better since they sat him, and he's come back in. Like, he's actually started.
I hope he woke up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me sad I got rid of him almost.
Part of my worry is changing coaches too much. I think that hurts quarterbacks too, especially young quarterbacks. So, I mean, that's, there's talks if, Chicago does fire everyone, then, someone like Cliff Kingsbury, who's a Commanders.
Whoa, Brendan,
canceled.
Trying to get us
canceled. You're out.
Whatever. Might go and be the head coach over there, and so then that might hurt Jaden's, sophomore year. So,
I think the thing that upsets Bears fans, A, they kept him and then didn't keep Justin, because then they could have got a whole bunch of picks. But B, you could have got so much better option. Like Harbaugh wanted to come to the Bears. He played for the Bears. He wanted to go to Chicago, and they were
he probably would have done great.
I thought he wanted to go to the Raiders.
No, he went to Chicago first, and he played for him. Like he wanted to go there, and then they were like, "No, we're going to keep Eberflus," and it's just like, it's how they broke Justin Fields. That's what they did with him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's what they did with Trubisky too.
Yeah, and Trubisky was kind of a reach anyway. But
well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the same pattern for the last 3 quarterbacks is happening again. So,
yeah. But hey, they got cool retro jerseys. Oh my goodness! If I go away, if I go this way, it shows jerseys and shirts. But if I go this way, it shows the jersey. All right, so let's look at this week. David, you and me are actually pretty close. It says 132-127, so it should be a good game. I haven't changed anything. I don't know if you have either.
I just hit the maximize to put the guys that were out back in. So
yeah, and if only we knew about that Grayson guy. Whoa! Who is that?
Oh, what's going on, gents?
Oh, we're just. First off, we were giving something we were thankful for sports this year. Grayson, do you have anything as a sports fan you're thankful for?
I am thankful so much for the Cleveland Cavaliers finally having a winning start to the season, possibly even a finals run, but we'll see.
I knew that was coming.
I was kind of thinking it might be beating the Ravens and the Steelers in the same year.
No, I would be more
Remember
thankful.
What I said last week?
Winning record.
Remember what I said last week? And you're like, don't give me hope. And look what happened. They won. They won.
I mean, I'll take being spoilers for the rest of the NFC. I'll take it. So.
All right, let's see. Grayson, we were just on your game now because you were facing off against Matt. Brendan is polling for you, and you are projected to beat him by 13 points.
Yeah, but as we all know, gents, football is a fickle lady, and it is anybody's game until the final play is played. So we'll see how that goes. But I think I do have a pretty good chance to beat Matt this week.
I would agree. Birmingham Bats is projected to beat up on Blazing Red, so looks like he'll probably finish with number 1. Let's see. Iowa Eagles is pulling a close game, guys. Down by 20 points to Scott.
Let's go tie.
He could do it. Now, even if he beat Scott, I think Scott's still in, but give him a little something at the end of the year. Bobby, you're currently projected down by 9 to Brian, but like Grayson said, anything can happen. You just need Bo Nix to pop off and give you 40 points again.
I mean, I feel like any projection that's within about 10 points is kind of anybody's game.
I would say even within 20.
It can be, for sure, depending on who you got.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of games, even going into Monday night, where people are down by 20 points and they've won by 20.
Pop off, yep.
Yeah, you know that from experience, huh, Mr. Mixon?
Dude.
Lamar. I was up 50 on Keegan, and Lamar Jackson had one of his 60-point freaking games. It beat me by 10.
70. He had a 72, I think it was 72 or 74-point game.
That's just God saying he doesn't like you, Brendan.
It was 50 points isn't enough? Damn it.
Let's see. Shane is currently projected up by 4 points over Sun Hitter. So
that's anybody's game.
Yeah, anyone's, but Sun Hitters is on a 6-game losing streak. I don't know what happened there. He started off 5-0 and has gone 1-6. And then Montana Outlaws, you're up by 5. Some pretty close games. At least, not a lot's going to change fantasy football-wise for a lot of us. But should at least be some fun kind of exhibition games, as we can call them.
Yeah, this week, again, I don't feel like I'm really playing for anything. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, because let's see. I guess maybe Dark Horse could leap you, David.
But it's not going to change anything.
No. It would just flip one spot, so not a huge change there. And honestly, I don't think Dark Horse will win. Yeah, because then Scott is down by 2. So, if Scott wins and Dark Horse, then that could be kind of a flip. Maybe a little bit of the seeding between, me, Matt, and Brendan, since we're all 9-3, kind of depending on our games. Grayson's pretty much just there because he's not going to win. Well, I guess he could win the division. Brendan, you haven't technically won the division, right?
I thought I have.
You're only up by 1. So if you were to lose and Grayson were to win, there is the possibility.
Even though I've already beaten Grayson twice and I beat Jill twice and I beat you once.
This isn't about the popular vote. This is about who.
I'm not talking about the popular vote. I'm talking about in conference play. Or in division play.
You know what? I'm going to award Grayson 4 points just for that, okay?
Hey, Dumbledore.
Hey, I don't know. I don't control the playoff seating. It's all NFL.com. So we will find out.
Either way, even if you did switch the two of us, Grayson and I would still play each other week 15, round 1 for us in playoffs. So
I already don't like that.
I mean, maybe. I mean, a lot could change.
Now, are the playoffs 1 and out?
Yes. Well, 1 and out, but when you lose, you go into a different bracket.
Right. But if you lose, you're done. You're not winning.
Yeah, you're not for the championship anymore. You're playing for 5th place or 6th place or whatever.
Oh boy, I love that so much.
Maybe I'll lose on purpose so I can get a better draft pick.
I was about to say, so if you can't go all the way, it's better to lose first round, get out.
I mean, you're still only going to get up to maybe 5. I thought Bob was laughing. I was like, Bob, are you planning something?
No.
Yes, he's just not telling any of us.
Now I'm switching my Yahoo Fantasy players around.
Yeah, so I guess. So there is a chance, Brendan.
Okay.
If you were to win and say me and Matt lost, then you might not play Grayson week 15.
Yeah, I guess you and Matt would both have to lose, but I don't see either of you losing. So
Because then you could move up to 3, play David, or move up to 2 and play either Dark Horse or BP Bears. And then, Grayson, I would say he's probably 5 unless he can flip and get number 4.
I mean, if I take Matt down, that's definitely going to be a boost in the rankings because he is pretty
and
high.
Matt did just beat me, so I mean, I guess it is possible Grayson could jump me.
Yeah. And then...
And Grayson has more points overall, so...
Yeah, so then I'm looking at maybe I'll face David, maybe Grayson, or maybe Dark Horse BP Bears. It all kind of just depends how me, Brendan, and Matt turn out. The only matchups we know for next week, or 2 weeks from now, I should say, week 14, is going to be that first round. So right now it would be Desert Dogs, California Sun Hitters, Dark Horse, BP Bears. So it'll be good.
So Keegan, I picked up Ritter just to slot him in. It says if I play him, I'm projected to beat you now.
All right, you know what that means? I'm putting Caleb in.
I don't know why they think he's going to get 33 points.
Who are the Raiders playing?
Kansas City.
I mean, Bryce Young just put up a ton of points, maybe. But I feel like Bryce Young has a little bit more talent.
I don't see them doing better than
Who's Minnesota
I know.
playing?
Darnold's playing Arizona.
And they're so hard to, because sometimes they're really good and then sometimes they're not. It's a tough choice.
Yeah, I had a talk with Trinity about, there's some players in fantasy football, even if it's a hard matchup, you still just play them. You never bench them.
Like Tyreek Hill.
Like
that's not.
Jefferson.
I was gonna say that's not Sam Darnold though. He's not.
I know, but I'm just saying. Like she was like, "Let's bench Justin Jefferson," and I was like, "Don't you dare!" That's like Keegan benching Jamar Chase. I would have never benched Jamar Chase.
I have too many wide receivers that can produce a ton of points. That's where I start falling into my trap because I overthink it.
Jamar Chase and AJ Brown would never leave my starting lineup unless they're on bye.
I also got Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf.
Yes, I wouldn't have those two. So
we'll see. That's where it gets hard. Let's look at last week in the NFL. Let's start off, Grayson. We all know which game kicked off this week. Did you watch it? Because it was a fantastic win.
I wasn't able to watch the whole thing, but I caught the end of it, and God, I miss snow football. It's just always so much fun to watch. I mean, as I brought it up when I got on, Browns beating the Steelers being nothing but spoilers. I mean, I wish we had more than just 3-8, but hey, take what you can get, I guess. Phenomenal game, Jameis Winston. If he can just keep this rolling for the rest of the season and become, the Browns' second Flacco, I think they have at least a good shot to finish probably 6-11, unfortunately. But I think as long as they beat who they're coming to town for, it'll be great.
Is there a specific college quarterback, maybe one from Texas, you guys are pulling for Landon and Cleveland?
I'm honest with you, I have not kept up with any of the news. Who are you talking about?
Archie Manning, 2020.
Archie Manning.
No, Arch Manning's not going for several years. Yeah, Ewers is going this year.
Ewers is going this year.
Oh, that Texas quarterback.
Look, all I'm going to say is Cleveland needs to stop eyeballing rookie quarterbacks out of college. They need to start building honestly, they need to start building their backfield. They need to start building their defense because a lot of those dudes, they're reaching their 30s. They're around they're starting to get old. It's time to start getting some of those replacements in It doesn't necessarily need to be like entire first rounders, but I mean, there's going to be solid dudes in this class that needs to be picked up for both offense and defense. And then you start focusing more on just having actual weapons in the deep backfield for the quarterbacks to go off of, which Kevin Stefanski wants to do. So I think that really just kind of needs to be and where their focus goes drafting wise, and not just trying to pick another hotshot quarterback. Because the only time that that's worked is honestly been Baker Mayfield. They gave him a shot, took him all the way, and then they let him go for whatever reason, which I still don't abide by. But hey, Deshaun Watson, let's keep rolling those dice and see how that goes.
Grayson, I was going to say, you guys have to start Deshaun next year. We know this, right? But that gives the rookie quarterback time to come in, sit down, watch the game, kind of see some of the tactics and motions in the NFL, see the speed a little bit. Kind of like a Pat Mahomes and some of these quarterbacks have sat for a couple of years.
I mean, it makes sense, though, because Grayson has always been a huge Deshaun Watson fan for several years. Oh, I remember he's got the shirts and everything.
Deshaun did work.
Yeah, my favorite is a shirt that says Deshaun did nothing wrong. He wore that for like a month straight. So
allegedly,
just has a shirt. It's a picture of the Dealey Plaza sign where the people have like scratched around allegedly, where it says Oswald allegedly did it. Just that.
Just put the dude. Yeah.
No, I know Grayson's feelings. I remember the year they got rid of Baker and talking to him the day that happened.
That was rough. That was a rough day, dude. I won't keep going on about it, but yeah, Deshaun Watson, best quarterback ever existed. I'm glad that he's getting paid so much cap space right now. It's so great.
Yeah, that's the only reason he's coming back next year, and the only reason he's starting. Because if they cut him, it's a third of next year's cap.
Yep.
If they keep him, it's like $40 million. So they're like, yeah, I guess we got to do that. Like it's worse than Russ, and Russ was a lot.
Cleveland can't cut him loose because it's too much.
Hey, at least you're not paying a $40 million quarterback to hand it off to a $12 million running back, because that's the worst decision that the Eagles have ever made.
I'll give you that, Brendan. I will give you that.
I think Brendan's trying to get muted. All right, so we're going from maybe what some people would call one dysfunctional franchise to another, the Bears, because, Eberflus just finds ways to lose. I think the odds of losing the games he's lost this year are like 1 in like 5 million. It might be more than that. Like, it's just like very low odds. The good news, Caleb's looking good. If you're a Vikings fan, the Vikings still look really good. And we kind of talked about this earlier. Sam Darnold, maybe he's shaken off. I mean, he got away from some dysfunctional franchises in the Panthers and the Jets. So maybe that's all it was. He took some time. He turned down more money to go start for another dysfunctional franchise. Took the year to sit in San Francisco, learn football, and he's looking really pretty good. David made a trade for him. He might be playing him this week. David, how do you feel about Sam Darnold?
He did pull it off and get a better deal last week than I thought he was going to get this last weekend. He was doing pretty bad till that second half, but we'll see how he does. I mean, I picked him up just for the rest of this season. I'm hoping he's solid at least for the next, 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, and I think he's a pretty solid option. The Vikings got a lot of options for him to pass to, except for Justin Jefferson. I paid him money not to even look his way. I said, hey, Darnold, whatever you do, just don't even look at Jefferson. A guy named Brandon calls you, just hang up the phone. No, but Addison, again, this is why they get him. He went off 8 receptions, 162 yards. Aaron Jones had 22 carries, 106 yards, and a touchdown. And the leading passer that game was Caleb Williams, 340 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that brings us to a game that we all, I think, picked the Lions, but I don't know if any of us picked them to blow out the Colts. Like, the Colts couldn't even score a touchdown. in points. It's 24-6.
It's because Falco wasn't out there, man. They need Joe Flacco. He had to be there.
I don't feel like that was a blowout like the Jags game was.
Or that Broncos game against the Dolphins. Do you remember that?
Oh my God! Oh, I'd rather forget that game.
I took a picture of it and put it on Instagram so I would never forget it. Just because you never see 70 points. Goff still looking good. He didn't have any touchdowns this week, but threw for 269. Jamar Gibbs, 2 touchdowns, a little less than 100 yards. So Lions, again, I think they're just showing they're a complete team. I think in the NFC right now, the only team I could see giving them a run is Philadelphia, especially with how Barkley's been playing, but that's just me. Dolphins kicked Patriot butt. Like with Tua, I think there's a lot of Tua detractors, but I think the time we've had this year without him has shown how good he actually is. Because the Dolphins did crap without him.
It's definitely showed us how important he is to that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with the good targets and Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, they could do nothing. I know Grayson kind of felt it with his running back as well. So there's been a boost since Tua's back. So I think people and lovers of football are glad he's back. We just hope he stays healthy and slides. Seen a couple where I got kind of scared. Grayson Bucks beat the Giants. They got rid of Daniel Jones. He appeared for 5 minutes on the Cowboys roster and then still is not signed. Sounds like maybe the 49ers is going to be his landing spot. We'll find out. But your boy Baker got the job done. They don't have their receiver, so, I mean, it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, despite all that, Baker still putting points on the board, so way better than Jared Goff this week. So, been pretty good.
How do you think the team is looking at how Baker's doing this year, and how do you think they feel about letting him go?
As toxic as Cleveland is, I'm sure they're just sitting there being like, oh, it's a wash. He just wasn't a right fit for the team. So they're coping right now, being like, kicking themselves, being like, we could have just offered this kid a lot more money and he would have stayed here and we probably would have been Super Bowl contenders by probably this year. But hey, come see, come saw. Honestly, I think I'm not going to get into it as much as I want to.
Hey, we're about to get into another game, though. Washington, been pretty hyped all year. Then they run into Jerry World and the Dallas Cowboys. David, what are your thoughts with this win?
I mean, it's always a good day when the Cowboys beat Washington, but this is one of those seasons where it actually would have benefited them more, I think, to lose this game. And honestly, for the first 3 quarters, I was pretty sure that both teams were trying as hard as they could to not win this football game. It was ridiculous. I mean, they went into the half tied 3-3. It was crazy. But I will say the last quarter there was very entertaining football. You know, if you were just watching it to enjoy yourself, it was a great game.
Yeah, the first half was kind of rough. Even Jaden, we were talking about, missed open passes and both teams.
All the missed kicks. Such a bad day on special teams all the way around.
Yeah, somebody hexed the kickers.
There was shanked punts. There was terrible kicks. There was blocks.
Missed field goals. Yeah, it was just like
the Washington kicker's defense. He does have a hip injury and was just put on IR today. So,
well, and then it did turn into the very first, I believe, franchise game for the Dallas Cowboys where they had 2 kickoffs returned for a touchdown, both in the fourth quarter.
And that one where he fumbled, muffed it.
That was insane. Turpin is so fast.
Yeah. He muffed it, and I was like, oh, man, the Commanders are going to get it. It's going to be on the 1-yard line, if not a touchdown. And then he spun around the one dude. I'm like, he's going to get it. And he got it. I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah. Once he got past with that spin move, he was gone.
Yeah.
But, I mean, entertaining game. But, again, it almost would have been more beneficial for the Cowboys at this point to just say, no, we're good, and take the better draft pick. But of course, instead, they're trying for it, and they're probably going to beat the Giants Thursday. And that's going to do nothing but move them more to that kind of mediocre middle area without really getting anything good.
David.
David.
Yeah. If yours was available, would you want them to draft him?
Yeah, I would take him, but I don't think it's realistic with Dak's contract and everything right now. If it was up to me, I'd say we need to do whatever we can to be in place to get Arch Manning when he comes up in a couple years. I think I love Ewers. He's great, but I think Arch is going to end up being like one of those legendary quarterbacks. The kid has so much talent. He could probably start in the NFL today and do better than half the starters out there.
Yeah, no, I mean he has the pedigree. I mean, he was born into a football family. Like,
big time.
If there's football family, it's the Mannings. You got Eli, you got their dad Archie. What's Archie's dad's? Cooper, right? Cooper Manning. Yeah, and he was a really good receiver. He just had an injury, and then obviously got Peyton, which Bronco fans still so torn about him not being a GM here in Colorado.
But yeah, no, I that's what I would aim for long term if I was part of the Cowboys, office. But that move would make sense and be a good thing, so probably isn't going to happen.
All right, well, we're going to talk about coaches when we get to the end of this episode because I want to get some opinions. Chiefs, I guess, just trying to lose to the Panthers. I don't know. Bryce Young looked really good, though, this week.
He almost did.
Yeah, Bobby was having a good time. He was posting every time the Panthers did something good. I saw he bought a Bryce Young jersey to root against the Chiefs. Is that right, Bobby?
I still think Kansas City's going to lose out. I still think the Broncos are going to beat them for the division. Kansas City's going to clunk out somehow.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think Broncos can definitely get into the playoffs, Bob. I have a little faith in you guys, mainly because Bo Nix, not Sean Payton. Everyone knows my feelings on Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I hear the Commanders want to go back to the Redskins again. They brought the story up. They want to go back to the name again.
The story always gets brought up, Bobby. It's like that one where it's like, hey, post this on your Facebook and they can't use your pictures.
Yeah.
It's always a lie. Don't believe it. It's just scam.
And that's why we use your pictures all over Facebook.
Yep.
Hey, just pick the good ones. Yeah, I know someone that used my picture. Hey, speaking of teams that speaking of teams that are garbage fires, how about those Texans losing to the Titans, just making Will Levis look like a franchise quarterback? The Texans are terrible.
And I think we all picked the Texans to win that game too.
No, I think I picked the Titans because of them being a garbage fire.
Yeah, they.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he did.
Either way, I expected more from the Texans, and they did not deliver.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, like coaching, sophomore slump, the receivers being – I mean, it just feels like it's everywhere. So I don't think it's just one thing to fix. So maybe next year they come back, add a couple more pieces, and they're just a little bit more cohesive as a team. But, yeah, they're one of those teams I feel like they're going to make the playoffs and just kind of get booted pretty quick if they do. A team I feel like might actually do better in the playoffs, Bobby, are your Broncos. This was not a pretty game for them. They ended up winning by 10, but for a while there, they looked pretty bad, especially once Minshew's out. They have a third-string quarterback in, and they just were not looking good. But you guys got
that when they hit that fake punt. We weren't even looking. It's like good God,
Well, that's why it's a fake punt, Bobby.
Yep.
You don't want them to know.
I think we'll be Cleveland, though. I think we'll whip on Cleveland, though.
Grayson, did you hear that?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see what happens this week. It's going to be horrifically embarrassing, but we'll see.
A little bit of a tangent. This is off of him saying about the fake punt. Does anybody else think it's really stupid that they have to announce onside kicks now?
Yeah.
Yes. And you can't do it till the fourth quarter.
And that's stupid. Yeah. No. That should have been a play you could just always go for. That's so dumb.
Why is Roger Goodell still the commissioner? I don't know.
Yeah, you got to think Sean Payton of old people hates that rule because that's how he won his Super Bowl. Was coming out at halftime doing the fake or the
And
onside kick.
that's what's exciting. Like stuff
Yeah.
like that when it almost never works, but when it does, it's like a turnover. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Like when the Bears got the onside kick and you're like, wow, they did something right for once.
Keegan, to go off on another side tangent with like what you brought out earlier about people just hitting their slumps, does it feel like it's kind of like people are trying to use way too much of like AI programming and kind of like not like AI programming, but just like algorithms to try to plug stuff in a lot more? Because it feels like the way a lot of these coaches are starting to like manage their teams, it feels very like, I don't know, very coordinated and very like just using other systems instead of like their gut to try to coach their teams.
I think it's the analytics.
I was going to say they're using analytics.
And it's just it's starting to get like unfun to watch sports now because they don't know what to do besides try to go off of analytics.
Well, yeah, because there was one drive, and it was the Ravens. They did a run, which got them nowhere. They did another run, which got them like 2 yards. And then they got a third run, which got them like 6 yards. And I was like, well, there's your 3 and out. You got 8 yards. That was dumb. You didn't even try to like pass it. Like you got Lamar. At least let him like get around the corner and like see if he can run it. You know, if you want to run it, he can run it too.
Exactly.
It's not working to run it up. Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it's just forced integration of AI and then the analytics part of it as well, where it's just, it feels, I think a lot of back offices for a lot of teams are starting to like try to force them to use that because they think for some reason it's going to moneyball them into a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not seem like it's working for anybody or entertaining for anybody to watch.
So what you're saying is it's Brad Pitt's fault.
Yes.
As most things are.
Unless Brad Pitt, you want to fund our movie of Dinosaur where we are just using the McDonald's puppets. If you want to help us fund that. Could win a Oscar, we think.
But Brad Pitt gets to be the Carnosaur and we just paint his face.
Put like little toilet paper. Like
Actually, no. He's the lemur.
And we put in a musical bit.
Obviously.
Packers beat up on the 49ers. And I think because their entire team was hurt, the 49ers, I don't know who was actually not hurt this game. I know there's a joke in our sports chat that their team playing also was on injured reserve this week.
You know, 49ers have been having terrible luck the last year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've got so much talent, but they just run into such weird situations.
Yeah, like the one year they make the playoffs, or was it? It might have been the conference championship. They made it there, and then they were on their like 4-string quarterback, or else they would have probably made the Super Bowl. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
No, the better team definitely won that game. Quarterback or not.
Oh, was that the Eagles? Is that who they played? No, honestly, I think the 49ers would have, Brandon. They were hot, but their whole team got hurt. Cardinals, letting Seahawks go into first place, so thank you, Cardinals. It was 16-6, Kobe Bryant, not the late basketball player, but Seattle's defensive back is the one who pretty much sealed the game, gave him the dagger. Nothing too spectacular there. Eagles beat up on the Rams, and when I say beat up, I don't even know how many. Did they have 400 yards for rushing? Is that what I saw? Something dumb like that?
It's possible.
I mean, we know Barkley almost had 300 by himself. They should have let him go for the record, Brendan.
Yeah, I don't know why they stopped him. They should have kept running him.
I completely agree.
He was already in ninth place, and from there to first was 50 yards, I think.
Yeah, it was 50 yards or something. 40 something, I think, because Adrian Peterson's like 290.
296, yeah.
Yeah, 255, so 41. But he broke Shady's record for a single game, and then threw the ball into the stands.
and then was like, I'll pay anything to get that back. And then Monday night, we did have the Harbaugh Bowl, where I think kind of like a lot of us thought, John, right? Who's the Ravens? Is it John or Jim?
That's going to be Jim Harbaugh.
Is the Ravens?
Is the Ravens. Yep.
Okay. So Jim Harbaugh is 3-0 now in the NFL over his brother. And, the Chargers kind of made it a game. They had to do the onside kick, didn't get that back. I honestly, at that point, was rooting for them to get it back, throw the Hail Mary, get a touchdown, because then maybe Lamar would get back on the field. It was totally selfish reasons. But the Ravens still looking good. The Chargers look really good. And we talk about coaching a lot. I think this is a prime example of they really just lost people, but the coaching has turned that team around. Like, they didn't add any big pieces. They lost both their starting receivers, and they're playing really good. So, I don't know, Grayson, any surprises this week for you?
Yeah, Cleveland beating Pittsburgh was not what I expected by any means. So them doing it, especially in a snowball type game, love to see it. But that was the only one that really popped up in my mind.
Bobby, what about you? Any surprises this week?
No. Let's see. Not really.
David, what about you?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. There was a lot of surprises, but definitely the Cowboys winning, I would have bet a lot of money against that. So definitely a big surprise for me there. I thought the Commanders were going to get it done because they are a much better team this year.
Brendan, what about you?
I think Tennessee beating the Texans. I mean, I know it's a divisional game and anything can happen, but I still think that Houston should have won that game almost pretty easily.
I mean, Mixon, I don't even know if he got more than like 15, 20 yards after having like close to 100 last week. That's crazy.
Yeah, luckily I didn't need 20 points from him.
Well, I mean, you could have used the 20 points.
Could have used something. Yeah. So let's see this week what we got. It is Thanksgiving week, so we now we have 3 games. It used to be just 2. But it starts off with Bears, Lions, and for the hell of it, I'll pick Chicago. All right, Brendan. Hey, they did it last year. They shut down the Lions with less talent, so I think they could do it this year. Brendan.
I hope St. Brown doesn't play and the Bears win.
But who do you think is going to win?
The Bears.
Okay. David?
You know what? Maybe if we all put our energy into it, I'm going for the Bears.
See what you've started, Keegan?
I mean, it could happen. Bobby?
Detroit.
Oh, Bobby.
Get out.
It can happen.
All right, Grayson.
Play well on Thanksgiving. Detroit usually does.
All right, Grayson, you have
What
free
happens if
will
I say the
now.
Lions? Do I have to go home too?
No, you have free will now. You can do whatever you want.
I don't
Bob
believe
got
it.
it for you.
As much as I
promise.
believe the Bears will win, but I honestly, logically, I think the Lions are going to pull it out. I think it'll be a really good game because, Keegan, as you brought out, the Bears always put up a fight against the Lions, but I think the Lions are just a better team and they'll pull it out.
They have the better coach, like by a country mile.
Honestly, though, I can't stand their coach. I don't like that guy.
Really?
Yeah, just something about him.
Man, if he could be on the Bears, that team would be like so good. But now that we've shaken up 3-2, David, I'll let you start this one. You guys are hosting. I don't even know who's playing. Drew Lock, maybe, because I heard Tommy DeVito might be hurt, might not be playing this week, so it might be Drew Lock. ESPN has Daniel Jones as the Giants quarterback, so who knows? How do you feel with this one, and who wins?
It is going to be the Cowboys' first win at home this season, and might be their only win at home this season.
Brendan?
Oh, this game is in Dallas? Definitely New York then. It doesn't matter who they play.
You want to put some money on it?
Suck.
We could put a tattoo on it.
I only got no.
Brendan was like, actually.
I only got $3 for my name, David.
You could bet one of your players.
I could.
Bobby, who are you taking?
Dallas.
Great.
You know what? Call me a dreamer. Give me America's team. I think they'll be able to pull it out just because if they can't beat the Giants, which, I mean, coming from one dog water franchise fan to, everybody else in another, if they can't beat the Giants, it's going to be a sad day. But I think they have the ability to do so, as long as, the sun's not right in their face. But we'll see how that goes.
Hey, I have faith in Drew Lock.
I had faith in him when he threw that touchdown against the Broncos. Let's see. Yeah, I'm taking Dallas. I think this one, a couple weeks ago, it might have been a different story, but the way Dallas played last week and the way the Giants just are falling apart, the receivers are bad-mouthing their coaches, the team's just falling apart from the inside. So I don't think you can take that in and win a big pride and time game. So give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
It might even be, dare I say it, a blowout win by 20.
I hope not, because then that'll make them be like, maybe McCarthy should stay.
I think McCarthy's gone. I still think even if they finish good. Here's one. Dolphins, Packers. Brendan, we'll let you start.
Packers. I think they're going to put all the pressure on the Bills, so then the Bills can clinch the East.
David.
Give me the Dolphins. Still riding that Tua wave. Unless he gets a concussion, they're good to go.
Bobby.
Green Bay.
Grayson.
Give me the Dolphins as well. I think, since everything's still kind of going on an uptick for them since Tua came back, they're going to ride that into a serious comeback for this season, so I think they'll take it in the end. So I'll take the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins have a very serious opportunity of making the playoffs this year. And if they do, I think they could make a decent run. I also didn't buy a jersey of my fantasy football wide receiver for nothing. So give me Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins. All right, so it's Thursday, Thanksgiving. Is there any big names doing halftime performances that we know about?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. There's one that's somewhat okay that I think is Detroit's. Let me see who it is.
Can I say something about the Packers game real quick?
No, never mind. That's Shabuzi.
It is supposed to be 28 degrees and snowing. We all know how the Dolphins do in the cold.
Oh,
Chiefs.
okay. No, I actually thought this was interesting. It is the Dolphins-Packers game. Lindsey Sterling is doing the halftime show. The girl who does all the violin stuff.
She's good.
It is. She's amazing. That's such a wild choice for a halftime show. So I'm actually really excited about that. I could care less about Shabuzi or Lainey Wilson.
Lindsey Sterling, no, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is Lainey doing the Cowboys?
Yeah.
That's because they do the Rod Cattle campaign. They do it every year.
Right. And I mean, they had Dolly Parton last year,
Yeah.
Jonas Brothers before that. I feel like Lainey Wilson's kind of a step down from known names.
Who was the cowboy that put in the cattle last year? He went into the feed, flipped into the cattle, remember?
Oh, somebody always does that, yeah.
Yeah, it's it used to be like Zeke. It was his thing.
I mean, he is there. That's the only reason they brought him back.
Yep.
You know what that means? If you have Zeke on your team, you might want to play him this week.
I mean, I do have Zeke, but my faith is not strong.
David's like, I'm talking from two fan bases. One as a fantasy football owner and two from the Cowboys. Don't do it. Okay, so, I mean, we now know the halftime. So we got those three. We also have a Black Friday football game because,
why not?
Why not?
At 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, and it's
honestly, I'm more excited for the Black Friday college game.
Yeah, we'll get to college because not too many shakeups. There's a little bit. One team dropped by far, but Raiders.
Hold on,
Chiefs,
are you talking about the AP or are you talking about the actual college one that came out while we were doing this?
Well, Indiana fell a lot in both, so
yeah, but the playoff one came out right as we were starting this.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it because that's been our new thing this year. Bobby, since it's your two favorite teams, the Chiefs and the Raiders, who are you taking?
God.
He's a Chiefs man. Look at him.
He's right on Bobby.
He's a Patrick Mahomes.
I'll take the Raiders.
You're not a true brother.
Chiefs, yep.
Whoa, so you did get that Raiders hat from Tony. All right, so now that we have Bobby, now that we have Bob on camera taking the Raiders for all eternity, Brennan, who you taking?
The Chiefs.
David.
I'm gonna take. Okay, so I really don't like the Chiefs. They're probably gonna win this game, but I will say what I'm rooting for is Travis Kelce is gonna get very severely injured in this game. It's gonna be like carts on the field, stop play for 20-30 minutes, and America is gonna see Taylor Swift crying on Black Friday.
Yep.
And they will call and then over the internet it'll be hashtag Blackest Friday.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be an uproar.
I think Bobby's on board. Did you see that?
It's gonna happen, and Taylor Swift crying will be one of the memes that closes out our year.
And then David, she's gonna find this obscure podcast. And then
you know what? As terrible of a person as she was when I met her, I'm fine with that. I don't care what she thinks.
Wait, you've met Taylor Swift?
I have when I worked at Walt Disney World, but
I heard she's really nasty.
No, yeah, she's if she's not trying to do her PR image or with her fans, she's a bad person.
Yep.
And I don't know if legally I'm allowed to tell this story in a live setting like this, but I'll tell you some other time.
It's a little behind baseball facts there. Grayson.
As much as I wish David's foresight would come to fruition, I wish that vision would be the reality we live in. I
still said they're gonna win.
I mean, I still believe that too, but I mean, if that's the little cherry on top for the W, I mean, there's a yin to every game.
You're right, because Travis Kelce hasn't made enough money. God forbid if he got hurt. Oh no.
No, I just don't wish injury on anyone.
But if we can wrap up this Taylor Swift Travis Kelce relationship sooner rather than later, I'm all for it because I'm tired of hearing about it. Anyway,
it depends on when the next album is due out because she'll need some of the songs to go into that.
I think she's got another at least couple of years before she has to go through that for her album release schedule. But
the NFL is going to make it so it's an Eminem Taylor Swift Super Bowl. That's what they're hoping for.
Anyway, give me the Chiefs. They're the better team. As much as I don't really care about either of these teams, but I just don't want another Chiefs Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to take it.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be kind of a get-right game. Last week should have been, but maybe the Panthers are kind of finding their stride. The Raiders, on the other hand, coaching looks bad. The defense looks bad. They have no running backs. All their running backs are hurt. They're on their fourth quarterback, one of the two. I don't know. Give me the Chiefs. I can trust Andy Reid and them to get it done. Which brings us Sunday. No Saturday. It's okay, guys. There's no Saturday NFL this week. But we do have Sunday. It's kicking off. Chargers going to the Falcons. Brendan, who you got?
Let's go Falcons. They're coming off their bye.
Okay. David.
Yeah, no, I like the Falcons in this, and I need Mr. Bijan to have a big day, so let's hope he kicks things off and gets him the win.
Bobby.
Atlanta.
Grayson.
Make that 4. I'm taking Big Daddy Kirko.
All right, I'm going to go lone wolf, but for the sake of David, Bijan will have 5 rushing touchdowns, but
They still lose?
the Chargers will get it done.
38-35, last minute kick.
Yeah. It just feels like a very Atlanta thing to do. Just like, I don't know. There used to be a time Atlanta like could win, and ever since that Super Bowl, it's like, oh, they'll probably lose somehow. Like, I don't know what it is, but
The Chargers do the same thing, though. So both of these teams are, let's find ways to lose teams. So,
but this year, under a new head coach, they did find the way to beat the Bengals because they should have lost that one. But you know what? Last year's Chargers would have lost that one. They new coaching. Grayson, I'm gonna have to have you kick this one off. Bengals hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, they could both jump in a lake for all I care, but fortunately they won't. So, honestly, I'd rather see the Bengals win because just Steelers fans are Steelers fans, and I really want them to kind of suffer this weekend for 2 weeks in a row and lose to another divisional, team. So, give me the Bengals.
Man, that would be such a bad Thanksgiving. 2 division losses in a row for them. Brandon, what about you?
I think Joe Burrow's going to throw for another 500 yards and still find a way to lose this game.
Are you saying he finds a way or the Bengals?
The Bengals will lose the game.
Okay. Because he's having like MVP year, and he is just on a terrible team.
I know. I almost feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
But also, if he throws for 400 yards, that might help Matt beat Grayson. So,
well, it feels like we have a lot of like selfish reasons we're picking teams this week. All of us have other reasoning. David.
I think Cincinnati does it. And between the two, I think I like Ohio just a little bit more than Pennsylvania. So let's go Bengals.
Bobby.
Cincy.
Oh, what is that? Clean sweep? Give me. Oh no, Brandon he picked Pittsburgh. That's right. But give me Cincinnati. I don't know. Their defense obviously is not as good as
Does that mean that you were going to go Steelers if everybody else picked Cincinnati?
No.
Just to be
he has Jamar Chase. He ain't going Pittsburgh.
I'm going. Yeah. I always got to go Cincinnati.
Why would he would go against Russell all the time.
I would.
So
Russell Wilson.
He might like Justin Fields, but that's not their starting quarterback. So
I also think their whole coaching operation of switching quarterbacks cost them the game last week. So, because why they put Justin Fields in there to throw a 50-yard bomb when they needed 3 yards was dumb.
I mean, I don't understand why the Cowboys put Trey Lance in twice just to have him lose 3 yards.
Yeah, sometimes these coaching. I mean, I don't know. I know we've kind of talked about too the whole Steelers Browns using 4 quarterbacks and no one got hurt. They were just randomly inserting quarterbacks.
It's kind of like the Cowboys running game.
Yeah. Who is it? Rico Dowdle, their starter?
I guess now, maybe.
I wasn't, because I was like, I thought it was him, but then I saw Cook, and I was like, I almost forgot Cook was on the team.
Yeah, you never know.
Here we go. Maybe another one we can be all on board for. Brendan, Arizona traveling to Minnesota.
I have a whole lot of fantasy players in this one, so
This is
I
the
do think
game of the week.
Minnesota will be able to win, though. Yeah.
David, what about you?
Give me those Vikings. Let's go Minnesota.
Bobby.
Minnesota.
Grayson.
Give me Cardinals.
Oh, Grayson's going to be a lone wolf this week. Give me the Vikings on this one as well. Now, could I see Arizona pulling it off? Yes, because they've played really, really good at times.
This might be the most even match of the week.
Yeah, this so far has been the game I think will be most exciting. Or most bad. Could be both ways. I don't. We still have the Jaguars somewhere. Oh man, this used to be a vaunted matchup. Indianapolis, New England. Brendan, who you got, Richardson or May?
You know, I'm gonna say May. Colts are too hit and miss. I don't know. I could see it going either way, but we'll say May.
Look, Bob was so disgusted he walked right off.
I bet I
at
would
least
too
he's not throwing
if
hats.
you say the Patriots over the Colts.
David.
Yeah, give me the Pats. I think they're more on the up, more consistent. I think they get it done with the Colts. But again, this used to be a huge matchup. Now it's kind of like, oh, I guess that's also happening this weekend.
Yeah, it's become filler, where it was like prime time. They made sure these two teams faced off. Bobby, who you taking, Patriots or Colts?
Indianapolis.
Grayson.
Give me the Patties.
I'll go Bobby on this one. Give me the Colts. Definitely has nothing to do with my feelings on Drake May, but give me the Indianapolis Colts.
You know, next season we need to start keeping track of people's pick records.
Oh yeah, well we need to get it, and I'll work on it for next season to have it like pop ups below so we can see what we are overall in like last week and stuff.
That'd be cool.
All right, hey, look at this. I'm happy for this one. Seahawks facing off against perhaps the most disorganized franchise in the NFL.
No, Cowboys can't play more than one game this week.
David,
I'm pretty sure the Panthers are playing the Tampa Bay, so you're not talking about Panthers.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you guys are not the New York Football Jets. I don't know what, what's
somebody just cursed New York as far as football this year.
It was Joe. He did it. He did it after he called the Super Bowl. Yeah, so give me the Seahawks. I think this one's easy. Man, if we can win this one and Arizona loses, that the whole game up we could be. Brendan.
How can I go against Devontae Adams? I mean, I can't actually. He is one of my favorite receivers, even if he's not on my team. But I do think that the Seahawks will be able to take care of, like you said, that. Yeah.
I still think Aaron Rodgers coaches before the end of the year. David?
Yeah, I think the Seahawks, just because I think Aaron Rodgers would find it hilarious to just bomb this team before he leaves.
When I heard there's talk of him, they're going to bench him so they don't have to pay him any money in case he got hurt at some point this year. So, I don't know. That franchise. Bobby, who you taking?
Seattle.
Grayson.
Give me the Jets because I'm a Jet all the way. No, I'm kidding. It's going to be the Seahawks by a landslide, and I just can't wait to see. It's sad to see it, but the Jets being led by a man on an ayahuasca trip is just working out great. So, sorry, Jets fans, but I'm taking the Seahawks.
Brendan, Commanders, Titans. One team looked good last week. One team did not.
One team still got me 40 points for my quarterback. And the Titans receiver is the only receiver that showed up on my team. So I hope Tennessee wins. I think the Commanders are probably the better team, but I do want Tennessee to win.
All right, David.
I think, unfortunately, Commanders bounce back from their loss and take this one.
Bobby.
I'm taking Washington.
Grayson.
Yeah, give me the Commandos. I think they're a better team overall.
Yeah, give me Washington as well. Like David said, it could be a bounce back game. But I mean, I don't know. Tennessee looked pretty good, but again, they played the garbage fire known as the Houston Texans.
All I know is if they slip 3 games, it would be like 3 games in a row, right? And if you lose to the Cowboys and then the Titans right after that, they're gonna have to do a lot of reevaluating in that club.
Yeah. If they lose this week, especially with all the NFL analysts that were like, Jane Daniels the best thing ever. I mean, might have to reevaluate that. I still think he's good though. Just not the best. You know what? Give me the Jaguars to beat the dumpster fire that is the Houston Texans. But Brendan, your pick?
I don't think Houston is going to stoop that low. I think they'll be able to pull it off. Jacksonville is one of those other circus shows.
They almost beat the Vikings with Mac Jones, so give them Trevor Lawrence. What can they do?
Lose to C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Not win unless they're in London.
Well, that's home turf for them.
The London Jaguars. David?
Yeah, that might be a dumpster fire, but I think it's a fire that's a little too hot for those kitty cats to handle. I definitely see Texans pulling this one off, especially after that loss this week. They need it more. Their guys are hungry for it. They're actually in contention somewhat. They could still go. So I think Texans will take it.
Bobby?
Houston.
Grayson?
Coming out with bold picks, Keegan. Yeah, no, it's not going to be a Jaguars kind of day because the Texans are about to gore them real bad. I don't think it's going to be, a blowout by any means, but I don't think the Jaguars have a hope or a prayer on this one.
All right. And our next matchup, I think it will be a bounce-back game for the Rams as they go into New Orleans and beat up the Saints.
Yep.
I think it'll be a bounce-back. The Saints are nowhere near the team that Philadelphia is.
Oh, no.
I think their coaching will get it done over an intern. Brendan?
I think the Rams could go into New Orleans, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they'll be able to go into New Orleans and take care of business. So.
David, what about you?
I think this is going to be my wild pick. I just got a feeling I think the Saints are going to pull it off somehow. I'm feeling in a real New Orleans kind of mood. I think they could take it.
A little bit of the Mardi Gras spirit, right?
Who knows?
Bobby, who you got?
I'm not. God, New Orleans is going to get beat up bad. They're not the team they used to be. You looked at. I know Kamara wants a trade. He's already said it.
None of us are the teams that we used to be, Bobby.
Kamara wants off, Freddie. He told me he wanted off.
Who doesn't want off?
Wait, Kamara told you personally he wanted off?
Kamara told New Orleans he wanted off that team.
Oh, I thought you said he told you.
Kamara told New Orleans.
He just called up. It's like, Bob, man, let me tell you.
No, I know he wants off New Orleans, so he's already told them that.
God, I just want to play for Bo Nix.
He might.
Back. I hate this.
Bobby, I was going to say, if you had a direct link to Alvin Kamara, get him on the podcast. We need to talk to Alvin Kamara today.
Yep.
Grayson.
What were my thoughts? I don't remember what I was thinking, but Rams over the Saints 100%. Yeah. Everything else I was going to say has already been said, but the Saints are just not. They are an shadow of what they used to be with Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and I don't know if they're going to be able to bring that back in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, the Rams are going to be rough on them this week.
Grayson, we'll throw this right to you right away. Your boy Baker Mayfield going to Carolina, face Bryce Young. How you feeling?
I'm a little worried. It's just Carolina's such a good team, so I don't know how it's going to end up for my boy Baker. Obviously, kidding. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's bringing a cannon against plywood. I feel like it's going to be a Detroit Jacksonville blowout type affair. So give me Buccaneers on this one.
Grayson saying hedge your bets and go start old fantasy Buccaneer players. Bobby, who you taking?
Carolina.
Whoa, Carolina.
Bold pick.
All right, David, we're at 1-1. What are you breaking us to?
I got to go with one of my second adopted homes. Got to go with the Bucks.
Brendan, you gonna send us to 2-2?
No. I hope Bucky Irving has a career day and rushes all over that defense. And the Bucks win.
I almost feel bad for anyone that bets using our predictions because half the time it's we just don't want one of the players to do good. Yeah, give me Tampa Bay.
Fantasy player.
Yeah, no, give me Tampa Bay. Carolina has looked much better recently, as has Bryce Young, but I don't know, something about Tampa Bay just feels more cohesive, even though they're missing Godwin. Evans is back. He's coming off an injury. Not going to be full speed, but
I wish Godwin was back, man. I'm missing him.
Yeah, hey, that was a good pickup for you. I don't even know why he became a free agent, but one thing we could be thankful for, right? Oh, here we go, Brendan. Derrick Henry's going to get 400 yards this week. How do you feel about that?
And Saquon's going to get 401.
Lies. 399. All right, so who do you think's winning? Your Eagles or the Ravens?
I definitely think this is the best game this week. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna definitely be stressed about it and put me at the edge of the seat all day. Eagles will win. I'm not gonna say that it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be an easy win for sure. The Ravens, I think, are easily top 2 team in the AFC. So, also Lamar Jackson has a winning record against. Maybe what we'll do is we'll go sign Daniel Jones, and let him play against Lamar because Daniel Jones is the only NFC quarterback to ever beat Lamar Jackson, and now that he's a free agent, that could give us an upper hand. But yeah.
David, what are you feeling on this one?
I'm gonna have to say that the Eagles win nevermore. It's gonna be the Ravens all the way.
I like what you did there, incorporating the reason they became the Ravens. Bobby, who you got?
Baltimore. Because in Baltimore, they're a heavy run offense. If they open it up in passing, they kill you right downfield. They can blow it up early. Blow it up early.
Go to the racing.
I agree with Brendan. It's going to be probably one of the best games of the week. But I'm going to take the Ravens as well. Even though I don't want them to win, I think they're just going to beat the Eagles when it just comes down to time. And I think it'll be one of the just last quarter battles for the finish. But I think the Ravens are going to pull it out.
See, now the question is, do I pick against a Louisville quarterback, Brendan? No. That's right, no. No, we don't. Give me Baltimore. I think it'll be a good game. Philadelphia's definitely learned football again. There was a period of time I was worried that they were distracted about so many other things. They forgot kind of how to play football, but they've been looking really good, especially this past week. I don't think any running back will get close to 200 this week, but I think we could see some solid 100-yard rushing games. And maybe Lamar. Oh, man. That means I have to either go against Philadelphia's defense or the Lions. I might have to start Caleb this week.
Philadelphia did just lose 2 defensive players. So one for the year and one probably for this week. So that is going to hurt.
Yeah. Still probably have to start Caleb, though. Looks like our Sunday night game, 49ers going to Buffalo. Everyone's super excited. I'll get this one out of the way. We're going for our University of Wyoming quarterback, Josh Allen. Honestly, they might beat up on the 49ers by like 20 points. Brendan.
Are we talking about the Buffalo game already?
Yeah, it's Sunday.
Damn. No, I just didn't realize how few Sunday afternoon games there were.
That's because there's like 4 before Sunday.
That's true. Going back to what I was saying earlier today about Green Bay beating Miami, Buffalo will beat San Francisco, and Buffalo will clinch the AFC East.
David.
Where are they playing in Buffalo?
Yep.
Yeah, Bills win.
Bobby.
Buffalo.
Grayson.
Give me the Buffalo Bills.
All right. That brings us to Monday night. Now, Bobby. We can't get ahead of ourselves yet. I know you're on one side, Grayson's on the other. Before we pick, I'll let you guys kind of reason with us why we should pick your team. Grayson, we'll let you go first since you are the visiting team.
We're making a case. All right. I've made plenty of cases for why you shouldn't pick the Browns, but what I can say is if with the Browns, they are coming off of, a win against the Steelers, another rival in their division. I think even though they hit a semblance of a groove with the game against Pittsburgh, I think they still have a little bit of growth that they have to kind of go through before they get something finalized. But if Jameis Winston is able to carry his team forward off of that gigantic W against Pittsburgh, I think they have a chance to at least put the Broncos against the ropes for a little bit and try to at least pull out the win. So,
David, real quick, did you send me something on Messenger?
It's the same thing that I've got over here on the chat.
Oh, okay. It was just like all in upper letters. Is this real? Bobby, why are the Broncos taking it?
Oh, next we got Sutton. We got there's Sutton, Bo Nix connect for touchdowns. We're good. I think it's going to be us 37, Cleveland 21.
All right. Well, Bobby gave his pick. Grayson, what's your pick?
You know what? I want to stay with my home team. I want to say Cleveland, and I think it's going to be 24-23.
And now, Grayson, you're going to be giving us live reports from the game.
I will be at the game this week, so you'll get that feed from me.
Bobby, are you going to be there?
Nah. Probably at the sports bar. Probably at Castle Pines Bar and Grill, probably.
David, who are you taking in this one?
I'm gonna have to go Browns. I think they pull it off. I think they surprise some people, and I think it's gonna be close. But I think they take it by 7.
Brendan.
I'm so happy I wasn't going to be the only one that chose the Browns to make the upset this week.
All right, let's make it happen. Give me Cleveland. Fortunately, we do not have the ghost of Otto Graham to join us today, like we usually did last year. I know. I didn't think ahead. It's last minute holidays. He probably traveling around.
Let's think about it this way: who here likes Deshaun Watson? Like, as a person, you're like, yeah, I'm a fan of that guy. Is anybody?
No.
Exactly. So the better Cleveland does, the better chance they can get rid of Deshaun Watson and keep what they have. So all the players know if they want to get rid of Watson anytime soon, they better make it happen this year.
Especially Kevin Stefanski, because I feel like he's the one that's been wanting to not play him, but the ownership's like, nah, you got to play him.
But yeah, you got to have a reason. So if they're trying to get rid of him, this is how to do it.
I mean, one more thing to add in on this, what David said, if they really want to get rid of him that badly, if Jameis Winston can pull out the W against the Broncos, he's going to be a Cleveland darling until he retires or he gets traded away. So he has to.
It makes a good argument, yeah.
Yeah. So he has to pull this out if he wants to have a future in this franchise or at least stay relevant in any team in any way.
Plus, they just beat the Steelers. That's already getting them some good fan press, And I was just in Cleveland earlier this year. There's some passionate fans.
That's the understatement of the century right there, buddy.
I remember a very exciting game, Grayson, when they beat the Steelers in the playoffs.
Ooh,
all I know is when I went to the game, I did some they have this QR code to enter you in for prizes. Of course, I didn't win anything, but I guess it has me permanently attached to the Cleveland Brown mailing list now. So I get at least 1 or 2 emails a week from the Cleveland Browns. So I guess I'm like a 5% Cleveland Brown fan now. So I got to pull for them.
Let's go.
One of my best neighbors was a Cleveland Browns fan.
Plus when I went, I got to see a free Black Keys and Machine Gun Kelly concerts with them playing at the opener. So that was interesting.
Brendan, that's really odd. My one of my old neighbors was also a really big Browns fan.
Oh, yeah? Huh. Yeah. Maybe they know each other.
Maybe it's the same person.
Then I hope they know each other.
Yeah, no, Mary's still a Browns fan. I sent her a picture.
I still remember the drive. John Elway drove us 92 yards.
You scared Grayson away, Bob. We weren't supposed to talk about it. You're muted, Grayson.
You're muted, Grayson.
That Grayson? John Elway, 92 yards. Elway drove him for a touchdown.
All I can say is first time Baker showed up in his first season, he smoked the Broncos for everything they were worth. So that's all I got to say about that. If you mention the drive, it makes a Browns fan just scatter for within a 500-mile radius. But I mean, it'll be a good game. I just want Cleveland to win because I just love it so much. Walking out of the stadium, minding my business, and all Broncos fans can do is just talk nothing but smack. And I guess you can say, "Who won the game?" Oh, that's right, Obama, and walk away.
That's how I felt when the Cowboys played them this year. We got to walk out and nobody said shit to us because we won.
Exactly. It's a wonderful feeling.
Little did I know, with that being the season opener, it was not how the rest of the season was going to go for us.
Tell me about it.
We had to enjoy the win. It was one of our few this year.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the annual or nightly, weekly, whatever we want to call it, college football ranking looks. David, would you like to run us down how the playoff rankings look currently?
Let's do it. You know what? We're gonna start at 25 and work our way up this time.
All right.
All right. So 25, kind of surprising. Colorado, they managed to hang in there even after that loss. I kind of thought they'd be kicked off the list totally, but I guess with that kind of PR, you got to give them at least a little hope, right? Considering how much longer we have left in the season, though, if you're not basically top 15 right now, you're probably not making it into the playoffs. So we're going to run through these 10 real quick. So we got Colorado, 24 Kansas State, Illinois 23, UNLV at 22. We got Missouri 21, Texas A&M coming in at 20, BYU 19, Iowa State at 18, Tulane 17, Arizona State 16. Now we got the top 15. These are the ones that they still got a shot to make it in still. I mean, and some of those other ones, like technically A&M is still alive, but that's going to be squashed on Friday when Texas beats them. But either way, a little bit of hope for them. 15, South Carolina. Very interesting to see them in there. 14, Ole Miss, who of course dropped after this last weekend. Alabama, number 13. So right now, if it stopped now, Alabama is not in the playoffs, which may come to a big surprise to a lot of people that haven't paid attention to football since before the Alabama Roll Tide good days. Clemson's number 12. We got Boise State 11. Top 10, Indiana sticking around in the top 10. They got the number 10 spot. They managed to hold on there. SMU number 9. Very surprising to me since SMU's always been pretty. Tennessee number 8. Georgia up to 7. Miami number 6. I kind of thought Miami was going to drop a little further. I think they still will before it's all over. Notre Dame 5. Penn State number 4, looking very strong. Texas at 3, of course. Ohio State 2, and then Oregon number 1. So those top 3 have kind of been the same for the past several weeks. Not really a lot of movement there. They've been taking care of business, getting it done. But decent amount of shakeup kind of in that top 10 especially.
Yeah, there was definitely quite a few games where I know we kind of talked about, like, some of these higher ranked teams lost kind of big.
Yeah, or losing to unranked.
Yeah, there's a lot of unranked teams winning this week. And so maybe when we look at the schedule, you got Memphis going to Tulane. Does anyone see Memphis upsetting Tulane there?
I don't.
Yeah. Now, this one could be different. Oklahoma State going to Colorado.
I think Oklahoma State can do it because I think, as I've told you before, Keegan, I think Colorado is definitely overhyped. I don't think they are better than they were. I'll give them that. They are coming out of the super obscure to becoming mediocre,
Mm-hmm.
They might make the playoffs in the next 5 years.
Well, and then we got, let's see, Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
I think Ole Miss, they got to bounce back.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, if they don't hear, that's pretty much it. Boise State, Oregon State. I think Boise probably takes that one.
Oh.
Georgia hosting Georgia Tech. I don't think too much changes there.
No, but I mean, that is one of those rivalry games, though. So that's one of those things where I guess anything could happen.
Do you understand how, like, conference championships are decided?
Yeah, like how they do it? Yes.
Yeah, I'm very confused. Like,
if basically the top 2.
Right, but if Texas wins this week, why haven't they just claimed the championship when they only have one loss to everyone else's 2 or more?
Well, interestingly enough, if they both win, the championship game will be a rematch between Texas and Georgia.
Right, but I'm just...
So that one at least makes some sense, but I know what you're saying. Like, why wouldn't they already have it?
Yeah.
Where is Texas on the schedule? I thought they were Friday.
No, they're Saturday.
No.
Oh, okay.
6:30.
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Texas and A&M, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Ohio State plays Michigan.
That's a heck of a game right there.
Yeah, but I just don't see Ohio dropping that one. Tennessee goes to Vanderbilt, another one. Now, here's one that could shake up maybe the middle of the pack. South Carolina going to Clemson.
Oof.
See, I hope South Carolina wins and gets them into the playoffs. They can do it. It'd be a shock. Nobody expected to see them in there.
And then that would be the whole thing for the expanded, playoffs is like, look at this. Look what South Carolina did,
And I mean, they have one of the funniest mascots, the Gamecocks. Come on. Yeah. It's just a really pissed off chicken. I love it.
Who's the head coach for South Carolina? Wasn't it?
I couldn't begin to tell you.
Steve Spurrier, what's his name before for South Carolina?
I don't know. Illinois is going to Northwestern. Oh, look, not a ranked game, but I hope Louisville just murders Kentucky. definitely not biased on that one at all.
I think it's shaping up that the playoffs could be very interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You got a lot of the big players in there, a lot of the well-known, you got Notre Dame in there. We got Texas, Oregon, Ohio, Georgia, and Tennessee. Both will probably make it in. Yep. Very interesting to me that SMU and Indiana looks like they both might make it in.
Yeah.
Those are definitely some underdog teams, but they might end up shocking the world.
Well, let's see. Notre Dame plays USC. I would think Notre Dame comes out with that one. Miami plays Syracuse. I would still probably say that. Right now, it's Miami by 11. So SMU,
which is crazy. Miami's just not that good a team, but they've been getting lucky all year.
They used to be. Used to be a powerhouse.
We'll look at number 9 SMU hosting California right now. SMU is up 13.5. So
it would be crazy to me, especially. I mean, since living here in the Dallas area, like SMU is probably the closest big time college to me. It's like right over there. Yep. So I'd be shocked to see them in the playoffs and getting there, because ever since their whole scandal where they got in trouble for what everybody does now, they were out of it, and now with the 12-game format, they could make a name for themselves again.
Yep. Right. Alabama plays Auburn, so I mean, gives them a shot still to kind of squeak their way into the playoffs, I guess.
Plus, I mean, let's be honest, we know there's an Alabama bias that's still going on. If they can find a way to pull a string to get Alabama in the playoffs just for the TV scores, for the the ratings, they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think if Alabama can win out and just be slightly better than some of the other teams, they'll get them in.
They'll be like, we'll give them number 12.
Yeah. Arizona State is going against Arizona. Nothing there. Missouri is going against Arkansas. Those ones are a little bit closer, but still favoring the ranked teams.
All they've really got going for them now is teams trying to make sure they get a bowl game and which game they're going to get.
Yeah. Indiana plays Purdue, and they're 28.5 right now is the line. So, number 1 Oregon plays Washington, and they're 19.
Personally, if I was them, I'd be trying to go for the Pop-Tart Bowl. Definitely the game to be in.
Oh, Texas A&M is favored over Texas?
Is it by like 3?
No, it's Texas 5-5.
Oh, I was about to say, there's like... But I will say, A&M would consider that basically the same as a championship if they could be a spoiler for UT.
Yeah.
They hate them so much.
Man, I still think Texas gets this one done, though.
Oh,
I just don't
hands down.
Yeah.
I feel more confident about Texas winning than any NFL game this week.
Iowa State 18, Kansas State 24. So this could drop Kansas State, I guess, out. It could drop either of them out of the 25 if they lose.
Yeah, depending on how the other teams do. I do think if Texas gets it done hard enough, though, I think A&M's out.
Yeah, I could see it. They're low enough. It's only 5 spots they could drop.
Especially if the other teams all win and do a pretty impressive job, I think, yeah.
UNLV is hosting Nevada, and they're 17.5 for them.
Do they consider that like a rivalry game?
I would think so, yeah.
Right, I guess.
It's probably like if CU plays Air Force. Like, not really, but it's still within the state.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Like, Air Force CSU is definitely much more of a rivalry because they play each other.
I like how Notre Dame was the one that crushed all the dreams of the armed services this year.
Yeah. Who does Notre Dame doesn't play an armed service one this week, so we're safe.
But the whole thing though was like revenge of the Irish, dude. They just they were not having it.
Yeah, they don't like the American Armed Forces. That's what we learned. Let's see, BYU is favored over Houston.
They have to get the heck out.
And that's pretty much it. So, I mean...
I don't think, again, unless you're in kind of those top 15 spots, I don't think you have a chance of moving up far enough to get into the playoffs at this point.
So...
Busy.
You could.
Say Texas loses.
Yeah.
How does that shake the top 5 up?
I think Texas would probably drop down to around 7 if they lose, depending on how much they lose by. I definitely think we move up, assuming they win. We move up Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, probably Miami, but it'd be right there around that Miami, Tennessee area.
Now, same thing. What if Georgia loses to an unranked team?
I think they go down to 11 or 12. They hang in there, but it's going to hurt them.
Yeah. And it's always this year's been the unranked teams upsetting some of these. Like Tennessee, if they lose to Vanderbilt, I think that drops them out of the 12 for sure.
And I mean, Vandy's been doing way better than anybody thought this year. They've definitely shocked some people.
This week doesn't matter as much to Georgia because even if they lose, they're still in the SEC championship. And if they win the SEC championship, then they will be a top 12 team no matter what. Because it's
you're automatic top 4.
It's top 4 champions. Well, it's top 4 of all the conferences. So I mean, if you're the 5th best champion, you could be 12th seed, but you'll be in the playoffs if you win your conference. So they could lose this week, win next week, and then still be in the playoffs.
Well, I think
9-3 record.
Georgia just wants to make sure they get that spot against Texas instead of Tennessee.
Well, I think it's the winner of Texas and Texas A&M goes against Georgia. So
is Georgia already a lock for who's taking it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh my.
Well, any other big news in the sporting world outside? I know we were passing around some renders of Vegas as 2 projects to try to get an NBA team there.
Too busy.
LeBron wants to be the owner of that said NBA team. That's what he wants to do when he retires. He came out and said it.
It's a terrible idea.
The Boston Bruins fired their head coach after 2 years ago, leading them to the best record ever in the NHL. And then he was picked up 5 days later by the Blues.
How do you feel about LeBron, Grayson?
He left Cleveland
Twice.
He got what he deserved. He's dealing with what he gets to deal with. So honestly, LeBron is being what LeBron wants to be. He's in LA. He's where he wants to be. Let him suffer in silence like every other team. Kicks his kid off his own team, even though he drug him up to the big leagues to begin with. It's a clown show in LA with LeBron at the helm.
And see, this is why anyone trying to get LeBron as an owner, don't do it. It ain't gonna. But yeah, Vegas will definitely get a basketball team. There's 2 independent companies right now vying to get to the stadium first. So they got property and everything. Renders have been coming out. Both look pretty nice. One has included more of the buildings around it, kind of like more recent pictures of the Las Vegas A's stadium have more of the hotel buildings up and not just the stadium itself. But I think that's it for sports this week. Grayson, besides the football game, what else are you doing this weekend?
Celebrating some Turkey Day. Going to be probably heading down there on Saturday after it stops just dumping snow up here. So we'll try to live that up as much as possible. But that's pretty much my weekend.
Bobby, what about you?
Going to my sister's house for Thanksgiving. Working tomorrow 7 to noon. I know tomorrow's going to be, how do you put it? Hell on earth.
Second or third busiest holiday for a grocery store. Yeah.
Yep.
Easter is number 1 still. So.
Yep.
David, what about you? What are your plans for the weekend?
Just watch some good football, recover for Thanksgiving, and enjoy the holiday.
Brendan, what about you?
We have our last craft show of the year on Saturday. Otherwise, they'll probably just help my company catch up on calls from Friday. So I might have to work a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can get through quite a bit of work tomorrow because we'll be closed a couple days. So I know next Monday is not going to be fun to go back into. But yeah, Turkey Day. Hope everyone that watches any of our channels just has a good week. David, any fun Thanksgiving episodes you got planned?
Yeah, we just had our episode come out about beer the other day. Tomorrow we're gonna have another episode come out right before Thanksgiving, and then our Black Friday special at the Mall of America comes out on Friday.
Yeah, go check it out. All good stuff as always from David.
Yes, that's Abnormal Voyages.
Yes, and if you haven't subscribed and you've watched David on 20 plus episodes at this point, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yep.
All right, well, more on the left for sports chat, something on the right. What went live yesterday? Oh, the Billy the Kid marker in Stinking Springs. Check that out. It was fun. Thank you, Coalition, for inviting us. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know your upset of the week. Tell us in the comments below.